Hello and welcome back. Today we will be creating, deleting, copying, and moving files and directories. So I am the Tux user. My directory is the Tux home directory. The make dir command will make directories, while the remove dir command will remove only empty directories. So that directory is not empty, and what we're trying to do is create the parent directory mydir and then the subdirectory file1. So we need to use the parents option to create the parent directory, and we need to use the verbose option to see the message, and that is that we have created our parent directory, and then after that we have created our subdirectory file1. So tree will list the contents of directories in a tree-like format. So you can see this subdirectory here, but tree will show these branches, I'd suppose. Let me show you a little bit more about tree. Okay, so the S option will print the size of each file in bytes along with the name, and then the H option will print the size of each file but in a more human readable format. So let me demonstrate that. The tree command is operating as root, is operating with the SH options on the boot directory, and then the output is piped to less. Okay, so you can see here how it has unpacked all of the directories and their contents, but you could also look through this for something like the .config file or the grep.config file. So this is very important, and I use this a lot when I'm looking for software on the system. And of course the remove dir command will not work on an empty a directory that is not empty, actually. So we need to use the parents option to remove the parent directory and then remove the parent directory. So let me clear the screen, and I'm going to make this again. As you can see, it creates the parent directory and then the subdirectory. So the remove command will remove files or directories, but only if you use the recursive option. But the recursive option is very destructive. It will destroy, it will remove directories and their contents recursively, so for the entire directory. So it's not here anymore. Let me create that again. Okay, and then I'm going to use the I option so that I have an interactive options as to what to delete, and this will protect my data so that I can be careful when removing files and directories here. So that's very important, the interactive option for the remove command. And now I want to create more than one directory. I can just use a space between them. I don't need the forward slashes. Those indicate for me that this is a directory because they are very hard to distinguish from files a lot of the time. Okay, so you have mydir1 and mydir2. Now I'm going to create an array between 3 and 7, and so I'm creating mydir3 through mydir7. Okay, and now I'm creating a file 1 through 6 under the mydir1 directory. And let me use the tree command to show what has happened here. And so you see we have file 1 through 6, and then MITRE2 has no contents. I'm going to clear the screen, then replay that last command, and then talk about the copy command. That will copy files and directories. So now what I'm doing is I'm copying. Let me actually, I just thought about something. Let me show you the syntax of the copy command. There's the source and then the destination. So the source file, the data that is in the source file actually, will be copied and will overwrite the destination. So let me copy that, and then let's do this recursive here. So recursively means throughout the entire directory. So I'm copying the source, that is MITRE1, recursively through the directory, and then I am sending that to MITRE2. Of course, it has no contents, so it will take MITRE1 as a subdirectory and then all these files. So let me show you how that works. Okay, and so now I'm going to use tree to show the contents of both of these directories, and you can see that it has copied the entire directory and its contents. So that is very interesting, very powerful. Let me move on and clear the screen. And I'm going to create file 1, and then I'm going to create file 2 by using the standard input symbols to send basically nothing to file 1. So these will be empty files. And so often when you're using copy and you're trying to copy one thing to another, you don't know that another file exists. So to prevent from overwriting a file that already exists, you would use the interactive option, and that will prompt you if the file does exist. So I'm going to say yes to do so, or I could say no to exit. Okay, and now I'm going to echo hello to file 1. We've used echo before, actually. It will display lines of text to the command line. Okay, so now I'm going to echo no. I should surround each one of these echo strings with single quotes. It's supposed to be for file 2, actually. Okay, so file 2 has no. Please excuse me for a second. Need to pay attention to my power a little bit more. Okay, excuse me. So now file 1 has hello, and then file 2 has no. So imagine that the user does not know that file 2 exists. And so the no clobber will not show any indication that anything has happened. But let's run the last cat command, and let's see that the data in file 2 has not been compromised. So the no clobber option is is a good option for the copy command. Let me clear the screen. I'm going to create text file 1, and then I'm going to copy that file to the root user's home directory. Okay, so now I'm going to list this file, and as you can see, it has inherited the ownership of the root user for this file. If I wanted to preserve that, I would use the preserve option, and I have it set to all, but I don't need to. If I only want to preserve the ownership, I could just use that. Okay, and let me perform an ls command again, and it has retained the ownership from the original owner of the file. Okay, that's something to remember. So let's move on to the move command, and it is similar to the copy command. I'm going to clear the screen, but it will both rename files and also move files. But it's copy. It's like copy in the way that it will overwrite files in certain circumstances. Let's look at the help page. I will demonstrate that actually. Now you can see it does have the same type of syntax where it has a source and then a destination, and some overwriting can occur. So okay, so let's rename this file as file new. And because that file new file did not exist before we renamed it, it retained its original data. So let me just clear the screen here, and I'm going to move file new to the mydir3 directory. There we have it. You could also use the move command to move directories into other directories. Excuse me. Well, I've already moved it, so I've actually created a file actually. Okay, that's enough fun with that. And now for my final lab, I want to show you how the no-clogger and the interactive options work with move. I'm going to clear the screen, and then I'm going to echo "don't overwrite me" to "don't overwrite me," the file. Okay, now I'm going to echo hello to file 1. Now this scenario is one in which the user does not know that don't overwrite me already exists. So the user will use the no clobber option to prevent this from executing if this file exists. And so nothing happens, but let's cat. And so it has not been overwritten. And so another option to use is the I option, or interactive option, and then that will show you this message that will explicitly ask you, do you want to overwrite this already existing file? So no, but let me show you what happens when you don't have the safety mechanisms. So file 1 has hello, file don't overwrite me has, of course, don't overwrite me. And now we have renamed this file. So there we have that. So let me cat that file. And it says hello now. So we have overwritten our data. I wanted to add these in so that you can protect your data, and then you can use no clobber or interactive options to prevent overwriting your already existing files, and that would be catastrophic. So the next episode will be about creating hard and soft links. So soft links are basically symbolic links. And I hope to see you then. Thank you.